Most recently.
Don't talk about the history.
Yeah, I know.
Too.
I know. Look,
See, it's too soon?
Is it?
God. No, let's talk about it right now.
Go ahead.
Let's just.
I was going to say with the Lakers, even most recently, D'Angelo Russell. They just shipped him to Brooklyn. It's like, is it, like, what is it about that spot, or what do you see in Lonzo that gives you pause? You said you don't want to call him transformative, but there's something about his game, whether it's the shooting motion, athleticism, defense, whatever, that makes you say, as much as he's hyped, as much as his dad, we talked about him in the LA connection, he may not pan out after all.
You know what? I think that we've all come to expect that if a guy is in the top 5, he's going to be transformative. It's just not the case. It's rare that you're going to get all 5 guys. Even if you think about KD going 2. Like, I know it was injuries with big fella.
With Greg Oden?
With Greg Oden, yeah.
But, you know, I'm saying it's tough, man. That top 5, it's not going to always be that franchise-changing player. It's just not the reality of it. So and if you miss there, it's tougher when you miss, other places.
So this is the last time tonight, the last time for a long time that you will see the 76ers drafted in the top 5. I'm all about the process.
Okay.
And it ends tonight with Markelle Fultz going number 1. That we think we know he's going first overall. Okay. All around game he flashed at UW. What are your expectations as high as mine? Not just for him, but for the Sixers immediately. I think they hit the ground running. Everybody healthy with Sarge and Simmons and obviously Embiid and now Fultz. I think they hit the ground running and make the playoffs in the East this year. Are you on this process bandwagon with me?
I like their team. I like what they've done.
Should I pump the brakes?
No. You don't have to pump the brakes. It's about what you expect of them. So you said, I expect them to make the playoffs.
I know. I'm just
Is that too much?
No.
Okay.
That's too much. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. No, Mike, I like that.
Yeah.
I think they can.
Yeah.
When you start talking about can they compete at the highest level, though, you're going to have to add some veterans. Very few times are you ever going to see 19 and 20-year-olds competing at that level.
Yeah.
Even when people say Golden State is young, those guys, KD's 29, and Steph's 29, they look young. But those guys have been around a while. So in the NBA, you can have really, really good young talent, but at some point along the way, that process, you're going to have to add some veterans in there to help those guys get over the hump.
It's a destination now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Especially with all the cap money they'll have this summer.
I know that's a lot to put on those kids. I'm just so excited about it.
But they can make the playoffs, though, Mike. I'm with you on that.
All right, cool.
All right, you'll be
Stick
back
around.
with us, definitely, to talk some more draft. Tonight after the NBA draft, don't miss SportsCenter at night with SVP. But first, check out Lonzo's. See,
okay, big baller.
You can tell when they get the new money, right?
Okay, big baller.
New money hasn't quite come there specifically, or like right there. Oh, look at that. The Triple B tie.
It's your night. You spoke it into existence.
Those
it's your night,
probably like $900.
More draft coverage when we come back.
It's Domino's. I have to go.
Looking for this?
Yeah. Order and track your pizza with Domino's Tracker.
Okay, so with the Fuel Rewards program, you'll receive instant gold status and get the rewards you deserve.
Awesome.
Oh, wait. Hold on a second.
Wow, I bet I'm like super fast.
Get rewarded at Shell with instant gold status and save at least 5 cents a gallon every fill, every day. Join now at fuelrewards.com/gold or download the app.
I thought it was going to give me super speed.
Just average speed.
Felt great.
Hey, looked great.
Thank you.
This is a story about mail and packages, and it's also a story about people. And while we make more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, we never forget that your business is our business. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Why don't you come around and visit me? Why don't you come around?
Grandma's reunion, rematch. Miles make memories. Use the card that helps you put more priceless in your life.
Why don't you come around and visit me?
Monday at 9 on TNT. New York heats up with the first ever NBA Awards.
We have the world's best on stage. You're gonna love the energy in the building.
Featuring a scorching performance from superstar Nicki Minaj and hosted by entertainer extraordinaire Drake. All of the votes are in. It's time to celebrate greatness. Wow. The first ever NBA Awards. Monday at 9 on TNT.
It's summer.
Summer is here!
The surest sign that summer has arrived. The new summer can from Corona. Get it while you can.
Hey, baby.
We met before, right?
You still alive, right?
Uh-huh.
Then I guess we ain't never met.
I'm looking at some of the country's finest thugs, and of course, young Mozart in a go-kart over there.
The world consists of three things: money, sex, drugs, and action. Oh, wait, that's all.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
What the?
Driver. Rated R.
Cowboys, let's go. We got one.
The all-new Discovery. Land Rover, above and beyond.
With the third pick, the Boston Celtics select. With the second pick, the Los Angeles Lakers select. With the first pick, the Philadelphia 76ers select.
The NBA Draft, tonight at 7 on ESPN.
About a half hour from draft time, baby. Let's check in with Jeff Goodman, I beg your pardon, and Ramona Shelburne. Jeff, let's start with you here. So Paul George, Jimmy Butler, reports that there's a stalemate between the Lakers and the Pacers. Jimmy Butler maybe could still be on the move. He's hanging out with D. Wade and Gabby in Europe right now, but the Timberwolves and Tom Thibodeau seem to be interested in him. What are you hearing about both those veteran swingmen and the chances that they get moved tonight, Jeff?
You know, it's going to be interesting tonight whether either of these guys get dealt. Certainly Paul George. I talked to a Pacers source earlier, Michael, and he said, listen, Kevin Pritchard is not going to be forced into doing something that he's not ready to do, the Pacers' new GM. Right now, they don't have a lot of leverage. There's only a couple teams in the mix. The Cavs don't have a GM. The Lakers feel like they don't have to make a move because they're going to get Paul George in a year. So who knows if George gets moved. Jimmy Butler, a different scenario. A lot of people talking about whether he'll go to Minnesota. Tibbs loved coaching him. We know that. But the issue here is Gar Forman and Paxson and Tibbs don't get along. So are they going to want a deal and one of them come up on the loser's side? Then you've obviously got Jimmy Butler. Could he go to the Celtics? Danny Ainge has a ton of assets to trade. Denver, I'm told recently, has entered the mix for Jimmy Butler. A lot of people trying to get in the mix for Butler. But will they get Gar Forman and Paxson to pull the trigger for a rebuild with the Bulls?
Yeah, not a lot of incentive for them to help out their former coach. Ramona, even though you're at the Lakers facility, let's ask about the Spurs, because I know you got some intel on that, specifically them testing the market for LaMarcus Aldridge. What type of interest is San Antonio getting for L.A.?
Well, it's interesting because, LaMarcus Aldridge only has one more year before he has to decide whether to pick up his player option on the rest of his contract. And so that lessens your trade value right there. Plus, he's an older player, and you're talking about, they've talked to teams who have lottery picks, top 10 picks. And so, right now, today's a day of hope, right? Everybody sees these kids, and they see all the positives, and they ignore all the negatives, right? And so this is the day those draft picks have the most value. And so it's hard to trade into that top 10, even with a player as accomplished as LaMarcus Aldridge. But I think a more interesting question in some ways is, what is San Antonio up to? Brian Windhorst reported earlier that Danny Green that the Cavs have talked about Danny Green with the San Antonio Spurs. And so clearly San Antonio is trying to clear some cap space to make a run at a free agent this summer. From what I'm told, we've already heard they're interested in Chris Paul. Mark Stein reported that a few weeks ago. But I'm told they're interested also in Derrick Rose and in George Hill. George Hill obviously used to be there. And so they need to create some kind of cap space this summer to make a run at any of those free agent point guards.
Watch Derrick Rose go ball out in San Antonio.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ramon.
Coming up next, more draft talk with former NBA Executive of the Year, Joe Dumars. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Learn more at Navy.com.
All right, Joe Dumars still kicking it with us on the 6th. So you heard Jeff Goodman talk about the Cavs working without a GM. They were supposed to be right in the midst before letting go of David Griffin, right in the midst of maybe talking about Paul George or Jimmy Butler. Our man Chauncey Billups, your man Chauncey Billups, reportedly has been offered the president of basketball ops gig by the Cavaliers. Jamel thinks he wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I say what you got to lose.
I think Dan Gilbert has shown what he thinks.
There's a lot of complications with that job, but it is, it is a primo job. You still got LeBron at least for a year. What advice would you give to Chauncey? Should he take this gig?
Here's what I would say to him: if you're going to take it, go all in, because these jobs are all encompassing. They consume you if you're going to do it the right way.
So don't be Phil.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, Mike. Here's the thing I'm going to say. It's more than just drafting, trading, and signing free agents. You have to build a culture if you're going to win. And as you can see with some teams in the league, culture's not being built. And that's the problem. What Chauncey can do, he can help build a great culture. He understands.
Maintain it.
Maintain it. He understands that it takes that and not just, we signed this good player and we're going to bring him to a toxic culture. It doesn't matter. You're not going to win. So I think that's where Chauncey would be really, really good.
All right, since we're on the subject of toxic cultures, the Knicks, all right? Phil talking about he's fielding calls now for Kristaps Porzingis, clearly put out by him not showing up for his exit interview. I think he should block and delete everybody who's calling him. What do you make of this situation with Porzingis and the Knicks?
You know how we all grew up hearing, don't put your business out in the street?
Yeah. She does that to me all the time.
So their business got put out in the street with the missing of the exit meetings. And once that got put out in the street, the calls that he's getting now, you get those every day. But the fact that their business got out there looks bad.
But doesn't it look equally as bad, the fact that Phil is like, yep, I'm getting calls, and so far nothing's blown us away, the fact that he's giving life to the foolishness.
I wouldn't have said that.
Okay.
I wouldn't have gone on and said we're getting calls. But I'm just saying that's why you always hear people talk about, man, let's keep this internal. Because once it's out there, it takes on a life of its own. And here's the other thing I would say, too. It's a lot different coaching than being in management. It's a lot different thinking about minutes and substitution and playing time and all this stuff, as opposed to these issues that you're dealing with. And so that's, probably a learning curve for Phil.
We're up against the break, but real quick. So thank you. That's what I was saying earlier. Like sharks in the water. That said, everybody you take calls on, you may not move them if you're asking for the moon and the stars, but there's nothing wrong with listening because you never know what you'll get offered, right?
But you don't tell people, as he just said, that you're listening.
Right. Let me ask you something.
So that's basically putting them on the block implicitly.
Could both of y'all be right?
That's not how TV works, man. That's not how TV works. But yes, absolutely. All right, thank you, Joe Dumars. We appreciate it. Top of the hour right here on ESPN. NBA Draft from the Barclays Center. See how the Knicks blow this thing. In Brooklyn, 25 years to the day. Happy anniversary since Shaq went #1 overall to the Magic. Also, watch every pick as they're announced from both rounds. That'll be streaming live on the ESPN app. Coming up, though, on our show, on the 6th, another Great fire interview. We're not going to ask anybody to recruit LeBron this time. Jason Tatum, Josh Jackson going to join us. Look how clean those kids are. Wish I had that kind of fashion sense now, not to mention.
Whopper. Fries. Soda. $10. Someone's going to get fired.
Fired and Flame Grilled. Get 2 100% beef Whopper sandwiches, 2 fries, and 2 drinks now for just $10. It's the 2 for $10 Whopper meal, only at Burger King.
Did you find everything okay, sir? What?
Have a good day, sir.
The all-new Volkswagen Atlas. Seats 7, sleeps 6. Life's as big as you make it.
We're going to bring that ape down.
Run! Kong Skull Island. Own it 4 weeks before Blu-ray.
Call you back. Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up!
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there.
What a day.
With car insurance for when things go wrong,
What a day!
but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Pain can really be a distraction. Pain is sometimes in my hands, right before performance especially.
Only Aleve has the strength to stop minor arthritis pain for up to 12 hours with just 1 pill.
This is my pain, but I am stronger.
Aleve, all day strong.
When you connect better, everything comes together. Try it free at gotomeeting.com.
Why would anybody want to shoot at us?
Your boyfriend's got a bloody superpower.
Am I the only one who thinks that's like psychotic?
Today we're going to learn how to eat the mushroom and Swiss king. Up, pinkies out, elbows off the table. No, you don't have to look like you're flying.
The new mushroom and Swiss king with a half pound of beef, sauteed mushroom, and crispy bacon. As big as it is fancy. Only at Burger King.
Gong, 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 gong. Gong, 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 show.
ABC Tonight. Some of these acts are right, and some are just gone.
It kind of sucked, but it was entertaining.
The Gong Show premieres tonight on ABC.
This is the original light beer. Brewed to be everything you want in a beer and less. Miller Lite. Hold true.
We've got another College World Series elimination game for you tonight. 7-seeded Louisville, 6-seeded TCU, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and streaming live on the ESPN app.
The Miller Time Moment is brought to you by Miller Lite.
the original light beer, brewed to have more taste with only 96 calories. Hold true.
As we come up on the NBA draft, they're hoping that they can do what Edmonton did and land a stud like Connor McDavid. He is our Miller Time moment for joining Sidney Crosby and Wayne Gretzky, who did it twice as the only players to win the award, the MVP award, before turning 21. McDavid led the league with 100 points, scoring 30 goals and notching 70 assists en route to leading Edmonton to its first playoff appearance since 05-06.
Go ahead, Blackberry Barrel Rose. I see you.
I was just reading.
All right, Josh Jackson is just 1 month older than McDavid, and we'll talk to him in a minute. But first, we welcome another top prospect, Jason Tatum. Now, normally, Mike, I don't like to insult our guests off top, but Jason Tatum, I have got to get at you about something that I read that you said about St. Louis and their food in particular in a food draft. You said that you would take St. Louis pizza, not ribs, but pizza #1. Look, if I were a GM, you'd be knocked down off my draft board just off that. So you got to explain yourself, my man.
I've never heard of St. Louis pizza.
Well, it's you got to go to St. Louis to try it. I'm from St. Louis, so I might be partially biased, but I'd never lead you wrong. I promise that.
Oh, that looks good.
Well, now, I have a friend from St. Louis. He does swear by Emo's Pizza. Is that the spot?
That's the best pizza on earth.
All right. Well, I guess I could let you live because of that. But look, moving on, I guess, to more real news, if you will. Obviously, tonight's a really big night for you. We've certainly heard a lot of rumors about where you might be headed. What have you heard in particular about where you might land tonight?
I'm pretty sure we hear the same things. You know, I've just been busy this week in New York, and every time I look on the TV, trade rumors are popping up on ESPN, and you know, it's been a pretty hectic week. And I don't know any more than you guys probably know. So I'm just nervous and ready for the draft to start.
I've seen you shun the label of a quote-unquote safe pick, as if you don't have a lot of upside and room to improve. How does that make you feel when people look at you as more of a finished product than some of your fellow prospects?
You know, all of us have things we need to work on, and you know, just something I just got to take with a grain of salt. And you know, I just got to keep focusing on my game and keep getting better like I have, and you know, prove people wrong.
Well, some other people have called you the best shooter in the draft. Do you believe you're the best shooter in the draft?
I don't know. Luke Kennard, you know, my teammate from Duke, he might be the best shooter, but I do feel like I'm the best player and the best offensively skilled guy. But, I mean, we're going to see what happens tonight.
Now, you put on for food in St. Louis, but I know another thing that's near and dear to your heart in terms of your hometown. You talked before about one of the first things you want to do is start a nonprofit for single moms. Why is such a cause so important to you?
Because, you know, just reflecting on my childhood. You know, my mom had me when she was 19. And, you know, both my parents were in my life, but, you know, I stayed with my mom my entire life. And, you know, it wasn't the easiest growing up, especially in St. Louis. And, you know, just all the sacrifices she had to endure, you know, to make it better for me. And, you know, as I got older, I just wish that, you know, we talked about, you know, starting a nonprofit and being a blessing, you know, to another, you know, single parent home and their child, and just paying for utilities and bills, you know, while they're in school or, you know, working, trying to get back on their feet, and just wishing or thinking, you know, how that would have helped us, you know, when I was a kid.
All right, well, some team is going to be very fortunate when they turn your name in early in the draft. And may we both say, subtle but sharp with the tuxedo selection.
Good job on the draft suit.
Man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, another player who likely will have his name called early, Josh Jackson, who's trying to be the 6th player in Kansas history to be picked in the top 4 in the common draft era. If he is selected, he would join that lovely group: Joel Embiid, Andrew Wiggins, Drew Gooden, Rafe LaFrentz, and Danny Manning.
Hey, Josh Jackson, thanks for joining the 6. I'm saying hello. My co-host is still a little salty because you didn't go to Michigan State, but instead went to Kansas.
Right? It could have been you and Miles Bridges together, man. It would have been a beautiful tandem.
But it's like you're being recruited all over again. Everybody's after you. You read that you're the apple of a lot of teams' eye. People trying to move up into the draft to select you. How does it feel to be at the center in the midst of all these trade rumors going into the draft?
I mean, it feels pretty good to be here. You know, it's a lot going on, trade rumors, and, you know, with teams trying to move up. But I just feel really good to be here. And I know I can't really control anything tonight. You know, I can't control who calls my name, where I get traded or anything like that. So I'm going to just make the best of whatever situation I'm presented with.
Yeah, along those same lines, obviously this is a moment you probably dreamed of for a lifetime. So how have you imagined this going when your name is called? Have you thought about the emotions you might feel or what might be going through your mind?
I definitely know emotions will be flying around. Hopefully my mom doesn't tear up, because if she does, I probably will too. But, you know, I know it's going to be a great night, especially one to remember for a long time.
Now, some of the draft analysts are saying that your shooting is the area that you need the most improvement. What have teams told you about your shooting as you've gone through this pre-draft process? And secondly, how do you plan to improve it?
Well, one of my struggles that came from shooting was mostly confidence, I think. You know, since the end of our season at Kansas, I've been, you know, shooting every day, working on my shot, and I honestly feel like I've gotten a lot better. Obviously, you know, it's really not one of my strong points in my game, but, you know, it's definitely something I plan on improving on just by, you know, staying in the gym, getting up shots, and, you know, make sure I'm shooting it the same way every time.
Now, of course, one of the stories was that you didn't get an opportunity to work out with the Celtics because of timing. Let's say they do take you. How comfortable would you be playing for them if they select you at number 3?
I'll be extremely comfortable, you know, coming into a program organization who's already, you know, established. They've got guys on the team who I feel can teach me a lot, and, you know, some young talent over there too. I feel like we could have a pretty special team, and I feel like I could do really good over there.
Josh, we haven't gotten to look at everybody on the red carpet, but it looks to me like they might be playing for second when it comes to the suit game. I mean, I don't know if that's velvet, but it's beautiful. It looks fantastic. Are you the leader in the suit game when it comes to the rest of your fellow prospects?
I think they've been coming in second ever since I seen them at the draft lottery. I think I've had the best suit ever since then.
Confidence.
I like the confidence.
Yeah.
See, that's part of it. It's one thing to be clean, but you got to wear it with confidence too, my man. So
yes, sir.
You win
yes,
it.
sir.
All right, well, enjoy the night. All the best to your family. Certainly going to be a special moment wherever you go. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, we're about 10 minutes away from our NBA draft coverage. You see Commissioner Adam Silver getting a good look, a good picture of all the future NBAers right there. Coming up shortly.
Do you always put cheese and grooves in your sandwich?
Of course, they're chips. Chips plus sandwich equals the perfect lunch.
Oh, don't forget the pickle. It's kind of a big deal.
Cheese It Grooves. Chips made with 100% real cheese. Dang right it's a chip.
Okay, so with the Fuel Rewards program, you'll receive instant gold status and get the rewards you deserve.
Awesome.
Oh, wait.
Get rewarded at Shell with instant gold status. Join now at fuelrewards.com/gold or download the app.
Wow.
I don't take breaks, I'm rebuilding. Blow up on the track, reinventing. Had to build it back, now I'm better.
Come and see our remodeled stores when you carry out large 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day.
Listen, Peter, you did good, but this does not mean you're an Avenger.
Mr. Storm is treating me like a kid.
But you are a kid.
Don't mess with me, because I will kill you and everybody you love.
I have to catch this guy, and nothing's gonna stop me.
Parker, my office. So, you got detention. How are you going to make things right?
Spider-Man Homecoming, rated PG-13.
Heineken is served in 192 countries. It's world famous. Like me. Excuse me.
Antonio Banderas!
Enjoyed in 192 countries. There's more behind the star.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is on.
It's gonna work. I promise you. We can figure this out.
A little help?
Hold on, Mom. No, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. It's not a question. It's a thing.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now with summer's hottest offer. Get 0% for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. During the Ford Summer Sales Event, get 0% for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in. Offer ends July 5th.
enough of this sitting around waiting on the sweat. I'm gonna do something about it.
Richard, no!
We, the device-loving people, want more than just unlimited data. We want unlimited entertainment, so we can stream unlimited action, punch unlimited robots, watch unlimited romance, if you're into that. But we also want more, like unlimited HBO.
Can I stop dying now, Mark?
No can do, mi amigo. It's unlimited. Besides, you're really good at it, James.
Don't settle for any unlimited data plan. Only the AT&T Unlimited Plus plan comes with HBO included at no extra charge.
They win the championship.
The College World Series, Louisville, TCU, tonight at 8 on ESPN2.
All right, I know you guys didn't think we were going to let you go without getting a few jokes off on the Doing Too Much countdown.
I'm tired of this, though. I'm not even laughing. Yasiel Puig, he did what Puig does. He posed for a home run against the Mets last night. Wilmer Flores, of course, didn't appreciate it.
Sensitive.
Also didn't appreciate Puig yelling a certain profanity at him as he was rounding the bases.
I don't think he knows what having respect for the game is. And, you know, we're playing horrible right now. We don't know.
What did he say back to you?
He said, yeah.
Well, that's the next evolution of flipping people off. But no, I'm so sick of this conversation. Even the NFL is loosening up.
Right.
Like, just that's part of his game. Big
Players
game to
need
stop.
to get over themselves.
And like, okay, you lecturing him. He's really gonna change his mind?
No,
Come on now.
that's not gonna do it at all.
It's not gonna change.
Look, if I could hit a baseball as far as Puig could,
You'd admire
I'd
it, too.
admire it. I'd take a picture of it, pose with it.
I get off a hot take, I look at him like, that was smart. That's what I do all the time.
You never hesitate to compliment yourself.
who will?
Tom Brady. Maybe he's looking for a new offensive line here in Tokyo. So him versus...
You didn't write that.
I did.
You didn't write
I did. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Tried his hardest.
Oh, man. Living his best life. He's serious about this Asian football thing, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's over there.
Wait, is that Combine Tom Brady or current Tom Brady?
See, this is current Tom Brady. And I'm glad you brought up Combine Tom Brady. Look, I know my man is into health and he's eating all the right
5 rings
things.
and millions of yards.
But does his body actually look that much
Look, I'm not
different?
one to talk. I told you I have on the shirt when I'm listening.
Do you, Tom?
Chiefs doing too much with their firing approach here. So Andy Reid gets a contract extension today, but they also fired General Manager John Dorsey, who, of course, fired Jeremy Maclin over voicemail.
So is this like next level karma?
I guess. It just traded up for the quarterback. So in the draft. So this is crazy.
So you fire somebody over voicemail, and karma decides that you get fired after the draft before camp.
We did a podcast about this, and X is texting you like KD's X did him. Check it out on the ESPN Listen tab.
Work that
OG
plug
podcast.
in, Mike.
Shameless, right?
J.R. Smith, change your password for real. He said his Facebook was hacked after posting goodbye Cavs. Had the nerve to tweet, I don't know what's going on with social media, but this is crazy. I'm not leaving the Cavs.
Somebody's out to get him. Somebody's out to destroy him. His password is password. What's the password?
What?
The password is what?
That must be his password, for real. Of course, remember when he said he was hacked after saying Cavs in 7?
Because he was. Like,
No,
why would he say Cavs in 7? There'd have been some hashtag.
So,
I know
they had
it's JR.
access to J.R. Smith. They're not going for the money.
They targeted
They're going
JR.
for Twitter.
He's being targeted, a conspiracy theory.
Whatever. Password might be Henny. I
got
don't know.
two sexies on me, and you come over and you say what? You say so. We have no. What do you see?
That's where it first started.
So he was sleeping at the workout and sleeping on the subway.
He likes to get his nap in.
Stephen A., what you think of what Phil Jackson is doing, homie?
His very first move as the executive was to sign Lamar Odom, who was on crack. Who was on crack?
Knicks fans, like, I feel your pain.
Knicks fans probably want to do drugs right about now. They all want to do
They
crack.
want to drink a
Something, something ease the pain.
Stephen A., I just no
crack.
No,
Not even true.
No one.
Is that accurate?
I don't know. No one can enunciate drugs the way Stephen A. can.
It's gonna be all right, Knicks
No, it's
fans.
not. It's not gonna be all right.
They
Don't get
haven't
him
traded
down,
him.
Falso.
He can come back from this.
You got the owner
What
out
about
there.
poor Melo? He's really trying to run him out of town.
They're trying to be Creed.
Before we call it a day, tell the people who had a good day.
All right. It is a good day for Guavo from the Migos. If he wasn't so busy making hits, maybe he'd be in the NBA draft. He was seriously giving people buckets, most notably Shaq's son, Sharif, because he's slippery. Excuse me, believe me.
Requested in the live stream is lit.
I'm going to tell you it was a good day. Who's going to be a good day for?
I don't do no clout chase, but you was a disgrace. I do it my own way. Requested in the live stream is lit.
You got it into existence. And his boy is going to the Lakers.
Woke up like I gotta make it.
Shoes and everything is day night. The kid
is lit. You already know what it is.
Give me your upside, your wingspan. Those of you yearning to shoot threes, I lift my golden lamp beside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where tonight the 2017 NBA Draft will commence. The hometown teams will have picks. Sixers will lead the way, and there are some who are already certain that they know what's going to happen in the early part of the draft. A big baller, perhaps headed to rejuvenate that Laker franchise as part of a magical rebuilding process for the Lakers. This is the guy who's going to be the cornerstone and the finishing touch, they hope, in Philadelphia when the process turns into payoff. But there are other potential stars. The fastest man in the draft.
Clout chase,
Swipe
but
of the
you was
Fox,
a
De'Aaron
disgrace.
Fox
I do
out
it
of
my
Kentucky,
own way.
and Josh Jackson, a guy that many believe is the
Requested
top
in the
4
live stream
draft
is lit.
board
You already
than you
know
might
what it is.
imagine. What Josh will play in tonight as teams go for those assets. And Jason Tatum, the latest Duke star, here to enjoy a night with family and friends. A lot of times, Fultz and Fox might be right up in each other's drills, and I don't think De'Aaron's always going to be fixing that bow tie for him. Instead, he'll be trying to tie him in knots. But tonight, everybody celebrates together. The commissioner, Adam Silver, getting the picture of this draft class. 20 men will be in the green room tonight, many more in the stands, waiting for that moment when a lifelong dream is fulfilled and their name is called in the 2017 NBA Draft. Tonight presented by State Farm, and we are delighted to have you with us from Barclays Center. The drafting will commence right around the bottom of the hour with the 76ers first to go on the clock. Glad to have you with us tonight. Reese Davis alongside my partners Jalen Rose, Michael Wilbon, and Jay Billis. Several others will join us shortly. You know, really the theme of this draft, who is brave enough to take a swing at the mighty Warriors? Several teams are charting their course for the future. And, Jay, as you look at this, I don't know who will be the transcendent players, but there's great depth in this draft class.
There's a ton of depth in this draft class all the way into the second round, and there are a couple tiers up at the top, tiers of 5 in my judgment. The top 10 is just about set, but this is a very deep draft, and it's incredibly young. We could see the top 10 picks all being freshmen, and we could see 18 freshmen taken in the first round. But your point about taking a swing at the Golden State Warriors, keeping your eye on the ball in this draft is the best thing you can do to build a team. Because if you look at the Warriors, they got built through the draft, and that attracted Kevin Durant. Durant didn't come first. They built that team through the draft by making intelligent choices, and it wasn't a top 5 picks.
When you look at this, Jalen, tonight, what do you think is the most intriguing storyline? The Sixers, I think, all this time they've been talking process. Now, this is supposed to be the last piece to allow them to start growing and have a payoff.
Absolutely. The Philadelphia 76ers move up from number 3 to number 1 to take Markelle Fultz. You want to pair him with Ben Simmons, obviously Joel Embiid. But I'm also paying attention to what's going to happen with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics. Not many teams get a chance to be a number 1 seed, have a top 3 pick,
and as many assets as any team we've seen in a really long time, they're going to be a wild card in tonight's draft.
Lakers and Celtics. I mean, it still comes back to that. The pillars of the league and the many championships they've won. And the Lakers are much further away from what Jay is talking about, taking an actual swing at the Warriors. They're still going to get pounded for a couple of years no matter what they do. But the first building block you would think would be this pick, which we think will be Lonzo Ball, and then what they do from there in free agency. But Jay's right. You start with the draft and draft picks, and you see the Lakers have acquired an additional first-round pick. Why? Because they're going to need to use those picks as assets to do whatever it is to try to see the Warriors, however distant they are in the future.
So as the night begins, would you be fair to say that Floyd Mayweather is the Golden State Warriors, and the Lakers are Conor McGregor?
That close?
I'm not sure the Lakers have a puncher's chance.
Not yet. That is very nice, sir.
Might take just a little while before then. You've already heard the guys allude to a couple of the storylines leading into this NBA draft. And right at the top, Boston had the opportunity to pick number one. They've never picked number one in the common draft era, and they dealt away that pick. Old Dylan Danny took care of business. 7 potential first-rounders over the next 3 drafts. He's got the number 3. Philly, for the second straight year, will have the number 1. Remember, Ben Simmons didn't play 1 second this past year. He was the number 1 overall pick a year ago, and still they improved by 18 games. The Lakers, for the third straight year, will pick second. D'Angelo Russell, though this trade has not been finalized, still officially listed as proposed, almost certainly on his way to Brooklyn, so he'll be out. Brandon Ingram will still be around. And Jay mentioned this. The first 10 picks in this draft projected to be freshmen. That would be a record for any draft. Current record is 4, dating back in 2014. So it is the era of the one and dones. And one of the reasons that we've had so much movement and talk is because there's not a bunch of salary cap room coming in the offseason as there has been the last couple of years with teams trying to move assets around. And because of that, there's news constantly and stories churning. Jeff Goodman with us throughout the evening. Jeff, what's the latest you have right now?
You know, this draft, Reese, could get very interesting as soon as number 3, and that's when Boston Celtics and Danny Ainge pick. He's got a ton of assets. He's been in talks with the Knicks for Porzingis. They're still far apart from what I'm told. And then at number 4, if Josh Jackson is still available, which he very well could be, the Phoenix Suns are fielding plenty of calls from teams that have Jackson at number 1 in their board. Clippers, Sacramento, other teams could try to get up to get Josh Jackson, Reese. So we're going to see some fireworks potentially early on.
All right, Jeff, we'll keep an eye on it. You know, for the first time in the common draft era, we will have consecutive drafts, which exactly the same 4 teams make the first 4 picks. And after that trade between Philadelphia and Boston, they will pick in precisely the same order as they did a year ago. Whether those picks will actually wind up on those teams remain to be seen. However, it does seem as if Philadelphia and Los Angeles are set on making sure that their top 2 picks stay exactly where they are after they're selected, beginning with Markelle Fultz. We have a couple of reports, starting with the Sixers and Mark Schwartz.
Reese, it's full speed ahead here in Philadelphia, where the Sixers love the 6'4" point guard out of Washington with the 6'10" wingspan. They say Markelle Fultz has the greatest upside in this draft over the next 10 years. As for the unicorn in the room, Sixers say they did reach out to the Knicks about Kristaps Porzingis. That was before the Boston trade. They say they would never consider including a number 1 for the unicorn. Now, let's play some Lonzo ball with Ramona Shelburne and the Lakers.
Thanks, Mark. Well, I just spoke to Lakers head coach Luke Walton. Said, what's the mood up in that war room? He said, we're excited. I mean, they were one bad bounce away from not having a draft pick in this draft at all. Now they have the number 2 overall pick. And I said, you know, you had that last year too, Luke. How is this year different? He goes, well, last year I just got here. I drove down from Oakland to become the new head coach a couple days right before the draft. This year, he's actually the veteran. Rob Pelinka, the new GM, and Magic Johnson are running the show for the first time. Now, if the Lakers keep the number 2 overall pick, I'm told that they will select Lonzo Ball from UCLA and make LeVar Ball his father right all along when he said, you've just got to speak it into existence. Reese, back to you.
LeVar has been speaking quite a lot. Lonzo is a man of fewer words for sure, but it is going to be in existence that Lonzo Ball will stay in Los Angeles. Fultz, those 2 guys go at each other during the Pac-12 season, and perhaps they will be the guys to go head-to-head. And lead their squads into contention. What about Markelle Fultz, Jay?
Well, Mark Schwartz mentioned it, the 6'10 wingspan. Stay in your lane. That's me, wingspan. But Markelle Fultz, it's remarkable how much he is like James Harden in the way that he plays. The best pick-and-roll ball handler in this draft. Excellent off pick-and-rolls. He's a 3-level scorer, deep, middle game, can get all the way to the rim. And Lonzo Ball is basically a clone of Jason Kidd, except he's a much better perimeter shooter with NBA range. The shot may not look pretty, but its release point is solid, and it goes in close to 42% from three. And he's an excellent finisher at the rim, 70% on twos. He only took 12 mid-range jump shots on the season. Everything's either at the rim or past the three-point line. Excellent in transition.
And well past the three-point line. And a lot of comparisons have been made between Lonzo Ball and Jason Kidd. Lonzo Ball at this point, better shooter, right?
At any point, yeah. He's a better shooter than Jason Kidd.
Tom Penn, who is our front office expert now. Tom, as you joined us in this comparison that's been made, Kidd was the consummate leader. People are attracted to playing with Lonzo Ball as well. How do you stack them up?
Well, they stack up like a carbon copy. I'll prove it to you. In pictures. Look, they look the same. More importantly, they play the same. You heard Jay talk about it. In transition, get to the rim and finish. 1992, look at Jason Kidd do it. Now watch present day, a little faster, furious to the rim, nice finish. How about the ability to create offense by attacking the rim? Jason Kidd, that big size, get to the rim, easy buckets. Same thing right here. He can see over everybody, get in there, create layups. Now, how about the half court? You got to create half court offense as a point guard. On time, on target, in the post delivery, you're going to see a whole lot of the same things with a 24-second shot clock with this kid. And then how about that ability to shoot it? Jay just said it. Jason Kidd's weakness in college, he was not able to make the perimeter jumper, and we know that Lonzo Ball does. He's got that awkward release, a little step back, bring it across the face, sling it in, it goes in. Look at these numbers, 2-point and 3-point field goal percentage. Guys, no one in the last 25 years has had a 70-plus and 40% shooting percentage from the field. Lonzo Ball, we see you, kid.
Going to see a lot of him in Los Angeles, and how much you see of LeVar Ball, that's going to be the question. Now, Lonzo's dad has garnered more attention than just about any professional athlete father that you can remember in recent years, for sure. So the question is he a distraction, or will this start to subside as Lonzo makes his way into the NBA? It is a big night for the Ball family, no matter how you slice it. Jeff Goodman with the Ball family now.
Here with, we got Lonzo and LeVar over here, and we'll start with you, Lonzo. So the plan was always to play for the Lakers. You're a Southern Cal kid. They got the number 2 pick. What are you thinking right now as the Lakers are on the board and maybe you get drafted by your hometown team?
It'll be a dream come true. Truly blessed, glory to God, and if it happens, I'll be tremendously happy.
LeVar, you have been pretty vocal over the last 9 months, and what's it like?
I told you before.
I can't even get the question out.
I'm going to speak it into existence. I already know what you're going to ask me.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yes, I do.
What I'm going to ask you is, what's it like watching your son as a father right now potentially get taken with the number 2 pick by the Lakers?
It's the second best thing in the world that's ever happened to me.
All right, what's the best?
Having all these 3 boys born.
I thought you were going to say the Big Baller brand.
No, the Big Baller brand is there, but family's first, baby. Ain't no Big Baller brand without the fam.
Is he going to the Lakers or not? Have you heard?
I told you. From the words of Zeus, Jesus, everybody said he's going to be a Laker. They told me before they told y'all.
There you have it, Reese. I guess he's going to be a Laker. Back to you.
Hey, Jeff, look, there's no question. LeVar has been rude and offensive in most cases, or not in most cases, but in some cases, but in most cases, it's just been what you just heard. It reminds me of a WWE event that you might see in the Barclays Center from time to time. Is this, look, you've been around this game a long time. Is this as big a deal as people have made it out to be coming up to the draft, Mike?
Well, we, collectively, media, have made this a bigger deal by too often, in my opinion, putting a microphone or a notebook in front of LeVar Ball. I don't need to hear from LeVar Ball. I want to hear more from Lonzo Ball. I want to see Lonzo Ball. It may not be that different. It's sort of a next generation of Richard Williams, if you will, of Earl Woods, and all those fathers, despite being, hypesters on some level, They did incredible jobs doing exactly what they sought out to do when their children were, I don't know, less than 6 years old, sort of leading them down a path in which they could become professional athletes and pursue this dream. And LeVar Ball has done that part brilliantly. From now on, what is it that LeVar Ball is going to say that's going to add to my enjoyment or assessment of Lonzo Ball? For me, this is personal. The answer is nothing. I mean, maybe he's entertaining to some people. I guess he could be. I know Jalen gets a good laugh out of him, and I do too.
I kind of laugh at him a lot too.
You know, I mean, you watch Lonzo Ball. I mean, it looks like he has a gift. I mean, a lot of people have talents in this draft. To me, Lonzo Ball has a gift. I want to see that play out with the Lakers fine because it just seems to belong there. But I don't personally need to hear from LeVar Ball much more, if at all.
He already said it. Lakers gonna get that ball, and they gonna get that ball. And guess what's gonna happen tonight? Exactly that. Here's the thing. The reason why there's a microphone and a notepad in front of him, he's actually the entertaining figure of the family.
He is.
And he's able to parlay that into an autograph deal where he gets paid $59 for an autograph. I'll take it. And how many kids come to a draft and they have their own brand? If it works and he's a great player, great. If not, he's not going to play barefoot. He can always get a shoe deal with one of the major companies. So I like the fact that they're dreaming big and they're going towards entrepreneurship. And no better place to do it than in Los Angeles.
I like the fact that he's a great player. The kid can play. And once he starts playing, we're not going to talk about his dad anymore. It's going to be all him.
I need one more question answered by his dad, though. How is it that you go about building the shoe? I mean, has he hired a cobbler and put him in his garage? I mean, how does one go about doing that?
Really simple. Get drafted and play really well. That's all you got to do, Reese. It's the microwave generation.
Over the years that you and I have been friends, you've always told me, Jalen, keep getting them checks.
Yes, indeed. Trying to tell him.
Lonzo Ball is going to go second to the Lakers, almost certainly. You always hesitate to say something 100% on draft night. Where will De'Aaron Fox, Kentucky Flash, go when the point guard is drafted in a point guard heavy draft? But this is perhaps the most polished scorer in this NBA draft. Jason Tatum out of Duke. Will he go with the third pick to the Celtics? Or could it be Josh Jackson of Kansas, a dynamo full of energy? NBA draft coverage continues when you come back.
That first night in jail, you're away from everything that makes you feel at home. That's real fear. I'm being set up. Your dad's about to get what he deserves.
You and I are in this together. But you need to start acting like you know that.
Keep your crews on point. It's business as usual. I can't really think I did this.
You're right, Jamie. I know you did.
I'ma keep grinding till the day that I die. At Guinness, we believe a beer with refreshing taste can still have lots of flavor. Taste Guinness Blonde American Lager and you'll believe it too. Here's to a more refreshing summer.
Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The new Mazda 3.
In my experience, there are only two things guaranteed to grow. The cash value of your New York Life policy, a policy that keeps your family protected, and my famous Crane souffle, which literally never stop growing. Be good at life. New York Life.
College World Series, Louisville, TCU, tonight at 8 on ESPN2.
NBA Draft 2017 is presented by State Farm, here to help life go right.
Back here in Brooklyn, Barclays Center. Billis, how about your top five?
Well, it starts out with Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball, but next is Josh Jackson from Kansas, the wing. Excellent athlete, fantastic defender, really good passer, just doesn't shoot it yet. De'Aaron Fox, the ultra-quick and fast point guard from Kentucky, and then Jason Tatum, one of the most offensively gifted players in this draft. both he and Josh Jackson. That's a tough call at number 3 if you decide to go that way because he's better offensively. Jackson, better athlete, better defender.
Jackson had said that there wasn't enough time to do a workout for Boston, but there were some rumors of a late-night workout. We've got Goodman working on that to find out if it's true. At any rate, that is where it seems that the draft will start with the uncertainty. Will Boston make the pick? They'll probably make the pick. The question is, will they keep it? Or are they trying to put together a big deal? Dave McMenamin with the latest on the Celtics.
Thanks, Reese. The Boston Celtics started the day with a phone call to the New York Knicks to inquire about the services of Kristaps Porzingis. They made a significant offer, including the number 3 pick this year, either Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart, and also were trying to acquire another first-rounder in 2017 to include in the trade. But the Knicks were asking for too much. I'm told it was a ridiculous ransom that the Knicks wanted. So the Celtics have moved on from that. Talks have not progressed, and I'm told that it is likely they hold on to the number 3 pick. The leading candidates to fill that position, of course, are Jason Tatum out of Duke and Josh Jackson out of Kansas. Back to you, Reese.
All right, Dave, and as they did last year, the Celtics hold a lot of the cards for the intrigue in this draft. For everyone who will hear their name called, it's a special moment. A couple of guys who know what it's like to hear their name called in the first round of the NBA draft. Down in the green room now, Jalen and Jay Williams.
Thanks, RD. So one of the things Jay Rose and I were talking about are all the random thoughts that go through your mind while you're sitting in the green room waiting for your name to be called. So I know for me, Jalen, I was thinking about, what kind of car am I going to get? How about you? What else? What are some of the things you were thinking about? What are some of the things that were going through your mind?
Well, you get competitive, and as you sit there, I was the 13th pick. You're wondering why certain guys are going in front of you. You're like, I've accomplished more than that guy. I'm better than that guy. And they had the nerve to pick him in front of me. And for me also, I was kind of caring about what I had to wear. I
cared the red outfit?
Yes, indeed. I cared about that. I thought I was going to get drafted by the Clippers. But imagine if I got drafted by the Sonics. I had a lime green suit to wear that night, too.
Thank God you didn't do that. You know, something else I was thinking about, too, Jay, is for me, it wasn't just me making it. I think for everybody at home, when you see these kids and you see how happy they are, it's not just about the kids.
Yes.
It's we made it. Like, my whole family made it that night. Jay Rose's whole family made it that night. Speaking of random things about going through your head, hey, De'Aaron Fox, come over here for a second. He got a nice watch, though. De'Aaron, you going to show him the watch? I want everybody to see the watch.
Cleaner than the board of hell.
How things have changed.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so what are some of the random thoughts that are going through your mind right now, D?
Man, who's the first person I get to play against?
Ooh, what else you got?
How my watch look? That's it. Honestly, that's probably the most exciting thing. That's the most exciting I am for anything. The watch right now.
When people project Lonzo Ball to go ahead of you, how does that make you feel considering you won that head-to-head matchup?
I'm fine. Like I said, I mean, we're cool with each other, but we're going to play each other in the NBA, so it doesn't really matter who goes first.
All right, RDC.
So I got to ask him a question.
All right.
Who are the people that you feel like are going to be the most proud of you when you walk across that stage and shake Adam Silver's hand?
Definitely my parents. You know, it's a lot of people that have gone, that put the time into it, you know, the effort into helping me to get here, but you know, it's no one's sacrifice is as great as their sacrifice for me to get here.
Well, you earned it. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All about the family, RD. Can't wait to see that Lonzo Ball, De'Aaron Fox matchup coming your way soon.
You're right about that, Jay Will. You know what? De'Aaron's parents have raised such a fine young man. The story of him befriending a high school classmate who had cerebral palsy, was a big Kentucky fan during his recruitment, really speaks to De'Aaron's character. Now, Fox is going to hear his name called very early in this draft. Perhaps you wonder what goes on behind that big draft board. A little while ago, Allison Williams caught up with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
So let's head behind the scenes now and find out exactly what happens in the moments leading up to the selection. Commissioner Silver, thanks so much for making some time with us. What goes on before you take the stage to announce a team's pick?
So what happens is once the team decides who their pick is going to be, and that's generally done in market in a war room that they have, they call it in to an operations room here in Barclays. Old-fashioned hardline phone, call the pick in. It's usually to one of the people in our basketball operations department. That person then checks to ensure that the person they're selecting is draft eligible, is someone who's on our list, does whatever various checks there. Then that person takes a card like this and has a printer there and then prints the name out on the card, and it says essentially what I read on stage with the 4th pick 2017 draft. That card is then run over to me. Somebody's literally out of breath, brings it up here because it's downstairs, another part of the arena. I then take the card and we check here with my colleagues on this draft choice board here just to make sure everything's in order. So they've been filling in the names as we go. So to confirm it's fifth pick, the fifth pick is the next pick here.
Right.
And then, if there's a case of issue of pronunciation where, it may be a name that isn't clear or obvious to me, somebody will go over it with me once or twice fairly quickly, because then your network is waiting for me to get out there, and then I take it and I walk right that way, turn the corner, and voila, there's the stage.
How much time do you have to look over the card before you take the stage? Is it ever a bit rushed, or does it just vary on how soon the pick comes in?
It's fairly rushed. It's, about probably half a minute or so where we're doing it. Sometimes, as the draft goes on, occasionally there'll be a trade that we have to announce, and sometimes I'll get a hold from somebody because they're not sure exactly what's going on, or they may be still talking to a team about a trade, and they'll be telling me, wait, go out and announce the trade at the same time. But it all happens fairly quickly.
Commissioner Silver, thank you so much for your time and for a little peek behind the scenes here at the Barclays Center. Reese?
Allison, if the commish needs extra time to go over pronunciation, I got plenty of dudes that can fill airtime up here sitting beside me. Hey,
who would that be?
Oh, not you, Billis. The next drama continues. Will Kristaps still be a Knick by the end of the night?
Whopper. Fries. Soda. $10. Someone's gonna get fired.
Fired and Flame Grilled. Get 2 100% beef Whopper sandwiches, 2 fries, and 2 drinks now for just $10. It's the 2 for $10 Whopper meal, only at Burger King.
We've been brewing beer since the 1700s. So it's with over 250 years of wisdom, we remind you to enjoy responsibly.
Don't miss MLS Heineken Rivalry Week. Where do you stand? Sunday on ESPN2. It's Portland Timbers versus Seattle Sounders FC.
With the 4th pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Kristaps Porzingis from Liepāja, Latvia.
Oh, how things change in 2 years from boo. Now that's the same kid and his dad wearing Porzingis jerseys and no doubt scarfing up newspapers like these right here with all of these headlines about Phil Jackson saying that he's willing to trade Kristaps Porzingis. Look at this. Sort of makes a triangle, doesn't it?
That is very nice, sir.
That's just rubbing salt in the wound, isn't it? I don't
You're
know.
the only person running a triangle these days.
You know what? That would be a bold prediction if you said Porzingis would be moved by the end of this draft. What's a bold prediction? What you think we'll see tonight?
A bold prediction that we're going to see tonight is don't be surprised at number 3 if the Boston Celtics consider taking Jonathan Isaac. Because when I look at Tatum and when I look at Jackson, they're pretty similar to the players that are already on their roster. And they have an opportunity as a number 1 seed with a top 3 pick to take a chance on somebody that may be a project.
Can I make a bold prediction? It's going to take a while to pan out.
Sure.
I think Terrence Ferguson, a name that not many people know about automatically coming into tonight's draft. He wanted to go to Arizona. That didn't work out. They would have been really great perhaps if he'd gone there for 1 year even. Played in Australia. That's what we see more and more kids doing now. Wind up playing 1 year, one and done, but 1 year overseas. Played in Australia. A player that I think Jay has in that 2021 area in terms of players available. I think he's going to wind up being a player we talk much more about as a rookie than the draft position might suggest.
That's interesting about Jonathan Isaac from Florida State, number 3. I don't have him that high. I think he's very good and very talented. But I think Jason Tatum or Josh Jackson is the choice there. I'll tell you, with the Knicks at number 8, wouldn't you want to go with the most dynamic scorer you can get? And for me, that might be Dennis Smith of NC State. Now, the issue with Smith is he doesn't play hard all the time. And he certainly didn't last year. Right? He tailed off toward the end of the year. And a guy that doesn't play hard all the time in college, do they do it all the time in the NBA? But, man, he is the real deal athletically. He's got a 48-inch vertical measured at the combine. That guy can absolutely score. He is a physically imposing guard. New York would like him.
Absolutely, I'm rolling with that.
Yeah, he was last year at NC State. He was just a year removed from a knee injury, explosive guy. You know, maybe so. That would be something perhaps even the Knicks fans could get behind on a draft night when they usually just like to yell and boo about it. But that's part of what makes this night fun, isn't it? And the major markets, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Boston, and New York, all in the middle of this draft night with big stories there. Which guy will go to those markets and try to get those franchises on the right track? We know a couple of them. Guys like Tatum and Fox we're not sure about yet. Or Josh Jackson. Some believe he might be the most dynamic player in this draft. Not too far away from getting things started. I'm Lonzo Ball and Markelle Fultz, who will go first to the Sixers tonight. It is draft night in Brooklyn. Stick around. The picks commence shortly.
At Guinness, we believe a beer with refreshing taste can still have lots of flavor. Taste Guinness Blonde American Lager, and you'll believe it too. Here's to a more refreshing summer.
Today we're going to learn how to eat the mushroom and Swiss King. Up, pinkies out, elbows off the table. No, you don't have to look like you're flying.
The new Mushroom and Swiss King with a half pound of beef, sauteed mushroom, and crispy bacon. As big as it is fancy. Only at Burger King.
Know what makes retirement less scary? Getting a check every month. With an income annuity from New York Life, you pay some money up front and then get checks for the rest of your life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checks. Be good at life, New York Life.
We've been brewing beer since the 1700s. So it's with over 250 years of wisdom, we remind you to enjoy responsibly.
This Sunday on E60.
I represent my family, I represent my town, and I represent my country. The dream was always to play in the NBA, but I never thought I would actually get there.
Start your Sunday with a story. E60, Sunday at 9 on ESPN.
When you're black, it's almost like having a gun pointed at your face.
Get that gun off me.
Who's shooting? It's just a starter pistol. It just starts racing.
Here in Detroit, a city of war, the violence continues.
This is about what went on at the motel.
What happened at the motel? I'm just going to assume you're all criminals.
Don't talk about this to anyone ever.
Detroit, August 4th.
What were people saying about you at 18 or 19 years old?
In terms of basketball, Lonzo Ball is the truth.
It's just great.
Might be a better.
Oh, I think he's a great talent.
De'Aaron Fox is a winner.
Right there with
these top guys. Is Fultz a guy that teams feel like they can build around? And
you're so right about Tatum. I mean,
what is said tonight in one sentence changes lives forever. This has always been your big, simple dream, to play.
Into the sky, heart in my hand, I hear him saying, Mama, there go that man.
To respect everyone and fear no one. To inspire a community or energize a franchise. Fulfill a destiny or revive a dynasty.
Fully endorsed cosign. Might as well say it, man, the world is mine. Yep.
To buy your mom the home she's always wanted and deserves.
Father, forgive us. We used to cry rivers, but with no tears left, I'll stand and deliver. Into the sky, heart in my hand, I hear him saying, Mama, there go that man.
It is a privilege to play a game as your profession. You will join an exclusive club of elite athletes, your name announced before millions.
You cannot, you will not, ever, ever break my stride.
Lights, cameras, hugs, hats, and handshakes.
I hear him saying, Mama, there go that man.
Just a few more steps and life pivots.
Welcome to the NBA Draft 2017, presented by State Farm. Barclays Center in Brooklyn tonight, just about set to get this draft underway. 20 players in the green room. Here is the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver.
Good evening and welcome to the 2017 NBA Draft at Barclays Center, home of the Brooklyn Nets. These young men here tonight represent the future of our league, a continuation of a proud tradition of NBA players competing at the highest level and captivating fans around the world. Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors on their championship, and to the Cleveland Cavaliers for a terrific run. Tonight, these players begin their own journey. Who will be the next LeBron James and Kyrie Irving, both picked number 1? Who will be the next Steph Curry, picked number 7? Or Klay Thompson at 11? Kawhi Leonard at 15? Draymond Green at 35? Manu Ginobili at 57? Or Isaiah Thomas of the Boston Celtics? He was selected number 60, the last pick in the 2011 draft. Every pick matters. So let's get started. By way of trade with the Boston Celtics, the first pick in the 2017 NBA draft belongs to the Philadelphia 76ers, who have 5 minutes to make their selection.
And let's be honest about this, the Sixers have made their selection. It is a frenzy in the city of Philadelphia. They have sold a franchise record 14,000 season tickets already. They expect to be sold out for home games. Markelle Fultz out of Washington, the first guy in a major conference in 20 years to go more than 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, though his team didn't win. Philadelphia won a little bit more this past season than it did in recent years, improving by 18 wins, that's despite only getting 31 games out of Joel Embiid and nothing from Ben Simmons. Embiid, however, before the meniscus tear, is averaging almost 21 points per game and establishing himself as a presence. Ben Simmons, who was the number 1 overall pick a year ago, missed the entire season with a foot. So both he and Fultz, who will be handling the ball for the most part for the 76ers, you would assume, will make their debuts at similar times. Here's the recap of the trade that Adam Silver mentioned. The Celtics, who have never picked number 1 overall in the common draft era, will move back to 3rd. Sixers get the number 1 overall pick to get the guy that they believe completes the foundation which can lift them from an absolute doormat with a tank season, stockpile picks and hopefully over the next couple of years move them into contender status. Now that's quite a gap. We're not trying to put them there next year when Fultz and Simmons have yet to play a second and Embiid's only made it 31 games. But what do you think about where the Sixers are right now and what their potential is?
They're a perfect team that embody the enthusiasm that takes place right now in NBA basketball. Just think about this. You talked about them selling 14,000 season tickets. Joel Embiid has played 30 games. Ben Simmons has played no games. And obviously Fultz hasn't either. None of those players played in the NCAA tournament. But yet we understand that they have something special going on in Philadelphia. It's really a treat for their fans who suffered the last couple of years watching their basketball team try to get to this position. Let's see if it pays off. I think it will.
More than the last couple. They've lost 250 out of their last 325 games. There's one thing that concerns me about them. Jalen, you're so right, to sell them promise. I would always hear you, toward the end of your career, credit my vets. I'm quoting you.
Yes, indeed.
Meaning Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller, if I'm not mistaken. But who are my vets for Fultz and for Simmons and Saric and Okafor and Embiid? Who are my vets besides Gerald Henderson? At some point, you've got to direct all of this youthful talent and exuberance and veteran players. Isn't that the way you do it in the NBA almost as much as coaching?
Absolutely, no question about it. And the thing is, they teach them how to be professionals, not only on the floor, but off the floor as well.
And that's really the key is Philadelphia's got to build a culture of winning right now. When you have so many young players, and you mentioned, their last two players, if they take Fultz, haven't played the NCAA tournament. Now, Embiid would have. He was hurt. I mean, he's played
but off the floor as well. And that's really the key is Philadelphia's got to build a culture of winning right now. When you have so many young players, and you mentioned, their last two players, if they take Fultz, haven't played the NCAA tournament. Now,
accumulation of talent they've had over the last several years.
Fultz's team at Washington won just 9 games.
They don't go in a bunch of different directions. That's really the biggest key, I think, with the accumulation of talent they've had over the last several years.
Fultz's team at Washington won just 9 games. That's the worst record for any #1 overall pick, if he is indeed it, since LaRue Martin in 1972. Let's now go to the commissioner at himself.
In the 2017 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Markelle Fultz with the first. In the 2017 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Markelle Fultz from the University of Washington.
An avid BMX biker, and now he loves to throw caution to the wind, and now he's going to have to be daring enough to try to lift the 76ers into a winning culture. What are the Sixers getting from Fultz, Jay?
Well, they're getting a guy who's got an NBA frame already. He's got great length, and he's a 3-level scorer. He can score from deep, he can score in the middle game, and he can score at the rim. Great body balance. By far in this draft, the best pick-and-roll ball handler in the draft. He's essentially a James Harden clone on the offensive end. He's got a quick, high release on his shot. I think one of the things that's interesting about him, though, he has a couple of flaws. One, he floats on defense. He is not a great defensive player yet, although he should be really good. He has some LeBron-type blocks where he chases guys down from behind. But to have a guy like this where offensively he's really got no holes in his game, he's a multi-dimensional scorer that once he comes off a pick and roll, he's got great pace with it. He can change speeds, change direction, an excellent finisher around the basket. And then we talked about his physical profile. He's 6'4", he's got a 6'10" wingspan. Tip it back, America. But he's long, he's strong, and the kid knows how to play. He's an excellent passer, almost 6 assists per game. He'll stick his nose in there and rebound. 23 points per game at Washington since 2000. That's the 3rd best for a freshman behind Michael Beasley and Kevin Durant. That's a pretty good score.
I have a comp for him, Jay. A gentleman named Bradley Beal. His demeanor, his ability to score off the dribble, not necessarily going to be the primary ball handler in Philadelphia like Beal isn't asked to be in Washington. However, can get points and flurries at multiple levels, as you mentioned. I think he has what it takes to be a big-time scorer in the NBA.
First pick is off the board, and as expected, Markelle Fultz joins this fraternity of #1 overall picks all time with the Sixers. Ben Simmons a year ago, Allen Iverson in 96, and the great Doug Collins.
Yes,
back
indeed.
in
I see you, Coach.
That's your guy. Allison Williams with the newest Philadelphia 76ers.
Thank you very much, Reese. Markel, it was expected, but now it's a reality. How did it feel to hear your name called and walk across that stage as the #1 pick in this year's draft?
It was unbelievable, really. I mean, truly a blessing, something I've been dreaming about last night. I was just sitting down, just thinking about hearing my name called, and it was unreal, really. Once I heard my name called, I mean, it was like God calling me. So, I mean, I'm just happy.
You're drafted by the 76ers, which means you join what's been known as the process. But for you personally, you often talked about trusting the process. What did that mean to you?
What it meant to me was anything you do, stick with it no matter what goes on. Even if stuff's not going your way, you still got to stick with it. And I think that's what I've been doing my whole life between high school and college. So,
like so many guys, you're rocking a very nice custom suit. But what makes this suit jacket special is not what's on the outside. What's on the inside. Do you mind giving us a little peek at the lining of the suit there and tell me about the inspiration behind it and who you tried to pay tribute to with it?
I got my mom, pretty much all my memories inside here, so you guys can see I got a little bit of everything in here. I mean, I got pictures, F2G, just everything that meant the most to me. My great-grandma who passed away, so I mean, this is all the memories that got me to where I am today. So.
How'd you come up with this? What made you decide to do this?
Just the guy, the custom suit. I mean, he told me he can do it, and when I thought about it, I thought, like, why not? I mean, it's something nice. It's something that's going to be memorable forever. I'm going to hang this up and go back and look at it. So,
Kyle, thank you so much, and congratulations. Reese?
All right, Allison, as Markel gets that jacket back on. A little kiss for his mom, Ebony, and the big hug there as Fultz. The Sixers say they're changing their slogan from the process to welcome to the moment. Fultz is enjoying that moment as the #1 overall pick, and now the Los Angeles Lakers are on the clock. And something that the Ball family believes that they have been able to sneak until it comes into existence. The only story, Kobe Bryant retired after 20 seasons with the Lakers, carrying them to championships and being the face of that franchise. First season under head coach Luke Walton, they missed the playoffs for the 4th straight year, and then the front office shakeup. Former Jalen Rose teammate Rob Pelinka's in there with Magic Johnson, who's running the show. And for the 3rd straight year, the Lakers will make the 2nd pick in the draft overall. The first time they did that, 2015, D'Angelo Russell, expected to be on his way to the Brooklyn Nets as part of this trade. Michael, we've talked a lot about the Lakers' direction now under Magic. Lonzo Ball is a big part of that, I would think.
Lonzo is a huge part of it. And for me, I can't help but think about Magic appreciating the gift that Lonzo clearly has. Vision, the ability to get teammates involved, whoever they are. Some of the guys that we don't think much of with the Lakers right now, who look like marginal players or barely rotation players, they become better with a great passer. And I know that's part of what Magic's talking about and counting on to taking Lonzo Ball.
If I'm the Lakers, I take Lonzo Ball and I get on the telephone and I say, other than Brandon Ingram and my #2 pick, you can have anybody you want. Just give me Paul George. Now they're in a position to attract other players to come play with him, because I don't think that all-star caliber player, other than possible #2 pick, is on their roster currently.
I don't think you get a shot at players like Lonzo.
To attract other players to come play with him, because I don't think that all-star caliber player, other than possible #2 pick, is on their roster currently.
I don't think you get a shot at players like Lonzo Ball very often. I mean, think how he transformed UCLA and the way they played just by his very presence. They got up and down the floor. They scored at will. They were the best offensive team in the country. Didn't guard as well throughout the course of the year, but offensively they were off the charts good. And I think he's going to translate very well into the NBA with the way that he...
The main part that actually drew me here to ECPI University was the accelerator program itself. Actually, I was still active duty when I started. It gives you that flexibility to work with where you can still work full-time and you can get your degree done in 2.5 years. The ECPI...
Foregone conclusion, we believe. Adam Silver about to step to the mic. Adam Silver about to step to the mic. Tell us who the Lakers have selected 2nd overall.
With the 2nd pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Lonzo Ball from UCLA.
See Lonzo with his dad. See Lonzo with his friends surrounding him on this moment. Friends surrounding him on this moment. Family always believed would happen. Family always believed would happen. Been around. And as much hype as there's been around, as Jay alluded to, this This guy was remarkable in terms of creating for his teammates. He led the nation in assists. He had the third most assists by any freshman in Division I history.
He's basically Jason Kidd. He's got that kind of size and length, and he's really incredible in transition. He gets up and down the floor. His ability to pass ahead is extraordinary. He's a terrific finisher at the basket. He shoots over 70% on his twos, mostly because he either gets all the way to the rim or he is shooting a three and shot 42% from three. To say that he's an elite passer, I believe, is an understatement. He's not only really efficient in full court situations, he's really efficient in half court situations. Not necessarily a pick and roll guy, but he can throw it over his head. He finds people, dynamic in transition because he can attack the rim and get there quickly and finish with either hand. Rise up and dunk it. You can throw him a lob. Now his shot is not pretty. It's like Jim Furyk's golf swing. You wouldn't teach anybody that way. But Jim Furyk's golf swing at impact is near perfect. Now, the release point here is not perfect, but he makes it, and he makes it at a rate that's better than a lot of guys we say are really good shooters. He can shoot it.
With apologies to Magic Johnson and Jason Kidd, I really love Lonzo Ball. He actually, to me, is a faster, more athletic version than Ricky Rubio. And I know a lot of people are going to say, Ricky Rubio, he's all right, but he's not real. But here's a guy that averaged on his career 8 assists and 2 steals. The only other two gentlemen to do that in NBA history are John Stockton and Chris Paul. So Ricky Rubio makes players around him better. I know last year that his team took a point guard in the first round in the lottery, but guess what Ricky Rubio did? He took his spot back and he basically averaged a triple-double the second half of the season.
Lonzo's the 6th UCLA player to be drafted in the top 2. And those other two, that's a pretty good company right there with Big Red and Kareem. Allison Williams down with the newest Los Angeles Laker, Lonzo Ball.
Thank you very much, Reese. Lonzo, the Lakers are your hometown team, the team your family wanted to draft you. How does it feel to actually be an LA Laker?
That's a dream come true. Glory to God, and thank you for everybody helping me get here.
Your vision is such a strong part of your game, and you're drafted by a guy that knows a thing or two about that in Magic Johnson. What does it mean to you to have him as a mentor and someone to learn from?
It's crazy. I couldn't ask for anything more, and to be able to learn from him every day is truly a blessing.
Now, I noticed that you are not wearing the shoes that you walked the red carpet with earlier. Pretty convenient. You had to put on not just the hat, but you also had the shoes waiting for you back there as well.
I did. Kind of had that pre-planned, and I'm glad everything worked out.
And I will note, you didn't have them in any other color, right?
No, this was it.
I know your family's with you here tonight, your dad and your brothers, but your mom, Tina, is at home watching. She suffered a stroke in February. What does it mean to you to be able to play at home because of your mother and being able to be close to her?
Yeah, it helps a lot. I'm glad to be home so she can come to most of the games. And she's getting better every day, so that's great. And I know she's happy at home watching right now.
Lonzo, thank you so much. We appreciate the time. Jeff, let's go over to the man now that spoke it into existence. Jeff?
All right, we got LeVar here. And LeVar, you already got the Lakers hat.
I'm trying to tell you, I knew this was happening before it was happening.
When did you get this hat made?
When he was a baby.
What's it like now that this has come to fruition for you? You've been talking about it for 9 months.
9 months? You're talking about 19, 20 years.
All right, 19, 20 years.
He had a microphone on me when I was talking about it.
What's it like right now that he is an LA Laker?
It's a wonderful feeling. But I already knew what was coming to him. I got 2 more boys. I got to come do the same thing 2 more years.
So you're going to get them to the Lakers too. How?
The big baller way. Ball control.
How good is Lonzo Ball going to be for the LA Lakers?
Hey, I'm going to tell you what. Lonzo Ball is going to take the Lakers to the playoffs his first year. Come see me when he does. I'll have another hat on to say, I told you so.
Thanks a lot, LeVar. Congrats.
Thank you.
All righty then. I told you, it's Jerry the King Lawler, it's Ric Flair.
I want everybody out there to Google Bundini Brown. That's who Muhammad Ali's hype man was.
Float like a butterfly.
Absolutely. A
like
crocodile was for Mike Tyson. You notice that Zoe was really mellow, excited to be drafted. All LeVar is his hype man. He spoke it into existence, and I can't front. Again,
Lakers going to get that ball, and they got that ball. All right, let's jump in here. We understand Goodman's got some trade news, has nothing to do with speaking anything into existence. Jeff Goodman, now what do you got on Jimmy Butler?
We got a big one already, Reese, and Jimmy Butler has been reunited with his former coach, Tom Thibodeau, in Minnesota. In the deal, Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and the number 7 pick go to Chicago. In return, Jimmy Butler, all-star, along with the number